Shamima Begum, what was life like for this couple in Syria? Video.
Shamima Begum's husband, Yago Redik, is now in Kurdish detention at an undisclosed location in northeastern Syria. The Dutch extremist says he wants to take his family home to the Netherlands.
Of course, I would love to go back to my own country, which I now understand the privileges that I lived with, the privilege of living there as a citizen. And of course, I understand that many people have a problem with what I did, and I totally understand that. I have to take responsibility for what I did, serve my sentence.
Shamima moved over when she was 15. You met in Raqqa. She was at the Women's Centre in Raqqa. You married her when she was 15 years old. How in any way is that acceptable? You were what, 23?
I think so, yeah, I remember.
And you thought that was okay?
To be honest, when my friend came and he said there was a girl she was interested in marriage, I wasn't really interested because of her age. But I accepted the offer anyways.
So it was acceptable for you to marry a 15-year-old girl?
It was her own choice. She was the one who asked to look for a partner for her.
Shamima Begum is being held at another camp. Their marriage was arranged by IS. In the United Kingdom, sex with someone under 16 is statutory rape. They had 3 children, but only 1 newborn survives. You know she's been stripped of her British citizenship. She's viewed as a danger and someone who's undesirable to Britain. So why do you think Holland would welcome her?
She is... I don't understand how she would in any form be a danger. All she did was she sat in the house for 3 years, took care of me, took care of my children. She never had anything to do.
Do you realise that when you say somebody who joined the Islamic State willingly, married someone in the Islamic State, fought for the Islamic State, when you say that you're a victim, that's sickening?
Okay, what can I say? I lived a miserable life. I was imprisoned, I was tortured, I lived in fear. How can I see that as a... It was my own fault for going, yeah, but I didn't come out of it as a winner in any way. Lost years of my life.
Yago Redik's admission too that he fought for the Islamic State means he may find it just as difficult to leave Syria as his wife Shamima Begum.
Shamima Begum said she joined the Islamic State group, in search of the perfect family life, and it was in Raqqa, shortly after she arrived in Syria 4 years ago, that it arranged a marriage between her and Dutch armed extremist Yago Redik. She was 15 at the time and he was 23. In the UK, he would be guilty of statutory rape. He sits opposite me in a yellow plastic chair, 27 years old now, in a freezing interview room in a Kurdish detention center. His guards have just removed his handcuffs. If I see Shamima, he asks me to tell her that I love her and have patience. Hopefully soon we'll be together again and things will turn out alright, hopefully. It seems unlikely that will happen anytime soon. Over the next hour, he paints a contradictory picture of an insulated home life, and a maelstrom of terror outside. He said he kept the 2 separate and that his wife, despite her public statements to the contrary, was ignorant of his crimes. I was keeping her in a protected shell, he said. I did not give her any information about what was going on outside. The problems that I was facing, the dangers. She was just sitting inside taking care of the household while I was trying to get by. Feed her, feed myself. Try to keep out of trouble. Try to not getting killed by secret services, making decisions that changed our lives, trying to keep us in safety. When I met Thames Begum last week, she said she had joined us in search of the perfect family life. She told me, my family wouldn't help me get married in the UK and the way they showed family life in us was pretty nice. Like the perfect family life, saying they'd take care of you and take care of your family. And that was true. They did take care of me and my family at first, but things changed after that. Their caliphate dream unraveled quickly. It was a world of headless corpses and his prison and torture for Mr. Aidij. When I asked him if he knew of any Yazidis, the religious sect is enslaved and murdered, he had this to say: I heard about one Dutch guy. He had a slave. That's about as close as I ever got to a slave. I heard she was about 40 years old. Video.
Do you think Britain's making a mistake?
Not a mistake, but I think they should. Right now, they're making this decision based on interviews that I've made with journalists and stuff. They haven't spoken. They haven't sent someone from Home Secretary to speak to me personally and interview me. Well, they're kind of being unjust, and I don't think they're actually allowed to do that because, like I said, I don't have a dual citizenship. I only have one citizenship, and if you take that one thing away from me, I don't have anything, and I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. I was hoping that Britain would understand that I made a mistake, a very big mistake, and it was because I was young and naive, and I was newly practicing. I didn't know what Islam was, and I just saw this, big thing on the news, Islamic State, Islamic law. I got tricked. And I was hoping that they'd sympathize with me.
Ems Begum had said she had seen a human head in a bin. Her husband explained it was in a bag on top of a pile of dead as prisoners wearing military uniforms. And he attended the stoning of the women accused of fornication. I actually never witnessed a beheading, he said. I've actually witnessed a stoning once. And I've seen people who have been executed but not the execution itself. Actually, she wasn't stoned to death, he corrected. She stood up and she ran away. And, after that, they said to the guys who were throwing stones, stop throwing stones. It's not allowed to throw the stones after she gets up and runs away. So we stopped throwing stones at her and she escaped. After that they left her alone. Mr. Aidij's wife claimed that he wasn't really a fighter, but he went to fight for us in Koban and was injured. He fought again in Aleppo. He said, I made a huge mistake. I've thrown away years of my life. It was not my life. Luckily, I didn't directly hurt other people. But me joining and supporting a group like that, it's something that's not acceptable. He added that he had hardly used his weapon. Now he says he wants to return to the Netherlands, with his wife, and his newborn baby son. I would love to go back to my own country, he said, which I now understand the privileges that I lived with. The privilege of living there as a citizen. And, of course, I understand that many people have a problem with what I did, and I totally understand that. I have to take responsibility for what I did, serve my sentence. But I hope to be able to return to a normal life and to raise a family. For now, Ems Begum and Mr. Aidij have neither their passports nor control of their own fate. They gave up both when they joined the Islamic State group, and are unlikely to see the return of either anytime soon. Ems Begum is in a women's internment camp not very far away from her imprisoned husband. Kurdish officials say there are no plans for them to be reunited,